Welcome to the Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the new look Lock Shop. Nielson and Huss back with you once again, but it's kind of the next era of the Lock Shop. We've got the new YouTube channel that's up and running as well. We're giving away $1,000 cash to one of our first 1,000 subscribers. We just launched that this morning. I think we're at about 70 right now, so if you're watching on Twitter, just know that eventually we're going to move anything over to YouTube. It's all brought to you by Coolbet, and sign up for an account today. Use the code LOCKSHOP. Huss, I like the new look, buddy. I like the new home on YouTube. I like the way it looks. I'm excited, my man.
You know what? Things could not be any better in the Lock Shop right now, especially after the complete smoke we dropped yesterday. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, really excited for it. By the way, looks awesome. Love the new intro. And yes, folks, the Lock Shop is now on YouTube. And, you know, over the course of the next week or so, we will be transitioning all the shows there. But as you mentioned, to sort of kick it off, we're going to give a lucky Lock Shopper a G-Note for jumping on and subscribing to the YouTube channel right now, one of our first 1,000 followers. So if you go to @LockShopBets, make sure you're following us on Twitter. You're going to need to click that link, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're working on getting the ability to have notifications on. That'll be important because sometimes the timing of our show isn't. We'll fill you in on that shortly. But the bottom line is retweet that tweet. Make sure you're subscribed to the Lock Shop channel. And in a week or two, when we hit a G-Note, we will be giving away $1,000 to somebody supporting us with a YouTube sub.
Yeah, let's get to that 1,000 as quick as we can. I don't need $1,000 sitting around the old office here, buddy. You know, it's tempting, but yeah, no, we got $1,000. All you got to do is retweet that tweet over at Lock Shop Bets. We got about 1,020 followers on the Twitter account now, so I'm assuming that'll fill up pretty quick. But if you want a chance to win $1,000 here before Christmas, all you got to do is be one of our first 1,000 YouTube subscribers, and of course, retweet the tweet for the contest. So we've got lots to get to today, though. Huss, who's on a heater right now. Great plus 700 exclusive last night. You got some puck picks coming your way again tonight as well. And we got Thursday night to get to. A huge number tonight in the National Football League.
No. Well, speaking of $1,000, yes, I did give out that plus 700 exclusive yesterday. And as Didier Petrin tweeted me earlier today, you gave away $1,000 yesterday to anyone that wanted to bet $143. Shout out to you, Didier. That made my day. Yeah, listen, I don't know. I mean, usually when we're making the daily pick, we're going to go for something we like. For the first time in a while, I had a plus money pick with Buffalo. And then with so many other things going on, we figured we'd tie it into the World Series and a little hoops. And man, I had to sweat out that Jazz cover last night.
Oh, my goodness.
On TV. There was a lot of refreshing the old app, but got through. Shout out to everyone who was riding. Unbelievable night. And by the way, listen, I'm not sure whether we're still going to be able to do these anymore, considering how much they've been hitting. But the Coolbet exclusives last night was absolutely bananas. The Around the Dial with Huss cashed at plus 700. What was it called again? Let me just remember.
There was the Keefe one that hit.
Yeah, the
Earn
Keefe
your
one
Keefe.
that was for.
Earn your Keefe.
Earn your Keefe. Marner's to score, or Matthews to score, Marner 2 assists, and the Leafs to win. That one cashed at plus 190. And then the other one that I got on was the exclusive. Leafs minus 1.5, Raptors minus 6.5. Raptors won by 40.
Raptors rolled
last night.
Yeah,
that was no sweat, and that one was plus 250. So if you are hitting the left margin in Coolbet exclusives, there's been some beauties in there lately, and
Pat and Jake are gonna have to dial that shit back a bit, buddy. Let's just say that. I mean, that's a lot of winners going out the door over there at Coolbet. That's for sure.
Hey,
so.
I always say this on the Lock Shop. I mean, every pick that I'm giving out, I'm betting myself. So that's why I have such a big shit-eating grin on my face when a night like that happens and we come back. And hey, you always hear it when your picks suck. So when things are going well, we do a little touchdown dance around here. But yeah, unbelievable night last night. I'm looking forward to getting back at it and can't wait. Already all over the lines for the weekend in the NFL. We'll have our big best bets show tomorrow to hopefully keep it going on Sunday.
All right, let's get into the Thursday nighter. We got a few player props coming your way here as well, but let's start with the total and the spread, Huss. And here's where we're going. We're going to go head to head on this thing tonight, and I think we're both kind of expecting a high scoring game. So it's a huge number, though, buddy. 13.5 is a big time number.
It is. It is. And listen, regular lock shoppers know that I've been somewhat animated with the enamored, I should say, with the Texans throughout the year. Maybe it was picking Dameon Pierce in a bunch of fantasy leagues. Maybe it was him hitting the touchdown prop on 3 straight weeks. But I still sort of think that the Texans are better than most people give them credit for. That being said, they're playing an absolute buzzsaw in the Philadelphia Eagles. But this is one of those weird spots, Dusty. It's a short week. The Eagles are cruising. I think they'll know that they're in. I mean, obviously, they know they're a heavy favorite in this game. And I'm just not too sure they keep the pedal down for the full 60 minutes. I mean, how many of the big underdogs have we seen cover? In a lot of ways, this reminds me of last Sunday with the Packers and the Bills. The Packers had no business. They weren't in that game. They had no business covering. And yet, fourth quarter, what happens? They get a backdoor number. Now, I am a little disappointed that Brandon Cooks isn't playing.
Yeah.
That is a bit of a loss. And by the way, if you had him in your fantasy lineup, make sure to get him out. But at the same time, this is going to be like the biggest game of the year for the Texans. I mean, they're one primetime game at home in front of their home fans. Philly's been awesome, and they are the class of the NFC right now. I don't think there's any doubt. But I'm not sure they just steamroll Houston like so many people are. This was a tough pick. I didn't have a real strong lean on it. When in doubt, take the points, even if it's Houston against an undefeated Philly team. I don't feel great about it, but I'm in. I'm committed. Texans plus 13 tonight.
Yeah, 13.5 is a big number. Even on a team as good as the Eagles, against a team as bad as the Texans, 13.5 is big. Heard and saw or read or wherever I got a few interesting trends here. Thursday nights, and I don't know how much we read into these trends from year to year, but Thursday nights, double-digit favorites over the last 22 games are 18-4 in covering and have won by at least, what was it? I think, was it 14.5? Anyway, it's 18-4 in the last 22 Thursday nights in which there was a team that was favored by this many points. So they've covered more often than not by a significant margin. The other thing that I find very interesting about this game is Jalen Hurts is having a phenomenal season. Jalen Hurts is going home. This is Jalen Hurts. This is him going home, playing in front of family and friends. And A.J. Brown was quoted this week basically saying, they want to make sure Jalen Hurts comes away looking pretty damn good at home in the national spotlight. So I think Philadelphia might keep the pedal down here a little bit. I think Philadelphia, who's been awesome. You want to find a first half line on this thing, man? This is a good one to get the first half on too, because Philly has been absolutely incredible early in football games, which could be good news for a backdoor cover with Houston here at plus 13.5. But I think the fact that Jalen Hurts is having a phenomenal year and he's coming home and he's going to be playing in front of his family in Houston, I think he drops the hammer tonight. So I'm going Philly minus 13.5, and I'm going to go, instead of playing the game total, if I had to choose a game total, I'd probably go over the 45.5, but I'm going to just go with the team total. Give me Philly over 29.5, and I'm all in on the Eagles tonight, buddy. They better not let me down.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm with you on the over. I'm going to take the points in this. And listen, I know Philly's scoring. There's no doubt about. They'll move the football and they'll get it in. And I guess this is essentially a bet on both sides that the Texans are going to be able to score a few points. Davis Mills is one of these guys that not a lot of people know about. I mean, unless you have Sunday ticket or are betting on a Texans game, you probably haven't seen the Texans play this year, to be frank. I mean, they're never on national TV like they will be tonight. When he started last year, when he basically got the job, all anyone could talk about was that he probably has the longest neck in all of professional sports. But outside of that, listen, there has been some mistakes, but he's actually showing himself to potentially be a reliable, consistent NFL starter right now on a team that doesn't have the talent at all with most of the teams that they're going up against. That should change with the picks they've got over the next few years. But
yeah,
I
mean, with no Brandon Cooks and no Nico Collins, it's going to be tough for them to score. Now,
for somebody else to step up.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough. Yeah, you're right. There's going to be that guy tonight who I've never heard of who scores a touchdown late to cover the 13.5, but also give us the over, right? So it'll be like, tough one. Tough one tonight. So.
I would love that if it happens. This is a tough game. I did see some numbers out of Vegas today, which was quite interesting. On the spread, 69% of spread bets are on the Eagles, 31% on the Texans. But on the money line, 58% of money line bets are on Houston, who right now at Coolbet, let's just see. I had choked when I saw
say that again. Say that again.
58% of the money line bets on this game, like to win the game, are on the Texans. And the Texans are at plus 580. I cannot remember, even with these Bills.
That doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
The Eagles right now at Coolbet are minus 714, and the Texans are plus 580. And basically, maybe the reason for that is who the hell would bet minus 714 favorite? I mean, you have to bet so much.
That's a really good point. No, that does make sense. Who in the world's going to put money on the Eagles just money line unless it's in a parlay, essentially, right? So,
by the way, this game could easily end up at 14 or more. I mean, I'm looking right now, and this is with the news about the receivers and Brandon Cooks. The Texans, it's plus money right now on 13.5 for the Texans. If you go to 14.5, which is a big move from 13 to 14, just because of the 13.5 to 14.5, it's minus 128 for the Texans. So we'll see what happens with that number. I mean, the line truly is probably 14 right now. And who knows if that'll change as we get closer to the game. But I didn't have a strong lean on this. When in doubt, I'm taking the points, even if it's the Texans without their receivers going up against an undefeated Eagles team that is an absolute steamroller right now.
All right, what about some player props tonight? Looks like we're on Philly here for a few player props this evening. Going with the tight end, are you, Huss?
Yeah, I'm going with Dallas Goedert. I just think that this is the sort of game that maybe, like, it was the A.J. Brown game last week. Miles Sanders has had a few big weeks. Teams like the Eagles, when they're cruising the way they are with such a weak schedule, often, I think, make a point of getting some of their key offensive players some big games. And listen, Dallas Goedert has been, one of the top tight ends this year, not quite in that elite category, but certainly in that next tier. And he's back. And, I just think that he's probably going to be seeing quite a few balls. And I do think that the Eagles are going to have plenty of opportunities to score TDs. So the fact that he was plus 165, I really like that number. I mean, I could make an argument for number one. I love your Hurts TD at minus 125. I mean, I think that is about a lock, especially considering what you said before about not only it being a primetime game on, I was going to say national TV, but it's on the internet in the States, Amazon Prime. Certainly like that, but I'm going to ride with Dallas Goedert. Maybe I'm sort of trying to give myself a little bit of mojo going into the week 2 for fantasy, because he is on quite a few of my squads. So I'm hoping for a big game from the Eagles tight end.
I mean, Hurts TD, easy enough. I mean, he usually can just get in there on a scramble, but I have to think tonight, being a little bit of the homecoming, they might have a few things designed for him inside the 5 or 10. So Jalen Hurts TD minus 125, still pretty decent value on it for a guy who's got 6 touchdowns in 8 games anyway at minus 125. I guess, especially against the Texans defense that is horrendous against the run and is missing one of their best run stop linebackers tonight as well. So keep that in mind when you're betting these games. And then I'm going to go with Devonta Smith here, over 4.5 catches tonight. It's plus 105. Now the 4.5 number is the same as that they're rolling out for A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown just had that massive game. And that's why it's like a minus 130 or something, I think, for A.J. Brown. So I like the value here on Smith over 4.5 at plus 105. He has hit this number or better in five of his last six. The last game you could probably describe as a little bit quiet, and he still caught 5. The game before that, he caught 5. The game before that, he caught 10. And then it was 3, 8, and 7. So, A.J. Brown, that huge game that he had, I think has kind of adjusted the numbers here a little bit. I really like Smith over 4.5. He's shown some good chemistry with Jalen Hurts as well, and you're getting it at plus money. So I love it at plus money.
Well, the thing with Devonta Smith is he's so small and shifty. They just try to get the ball in his hands and see what he can do after the catch. So, like last week was a really strange week. He did have the 5 catches. He only had 23 yards.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show the way they're utilizing him. And, one guy misses a tackle and you could add another 50 yards onto that. So I do think he'll see the balls. And just back to Goddard for a minute. I mean, he was the, Smith got targeted 8 times last week. A.J. Brown had 10. Dallas, though, caught all 6 of his targets for 64 yards. And I think that reliability is going to be mean that, he's near the top of the list for a little red zone look if Jalen Hurts wants to throw the ball as opposed to running it in himself.
All right, so there you go. We got a Hurts CD at minus 125, Smith over 4.5 catches at plus 105, and a Dallas Goddard anytime TD at plus 165. Before we wrap up this episode of the Lock Shop Huss, you do have a hockey play tonight. What are you laying out there tonight?
I mean, come on, we can't just leave it at that after what happened last night. An interesting slate, tons of games tonight. We got Montreal here to take on the Jets. That is not going to be part of the parlay, but I do have a 3-gamer. And let's start it off with the Minnesota Wild. They're hosting the Seattle Kraken. Numbers gone down a little bit today. They're at minus 172. The Kraken have had a couple nice wins as of late, but I think Minnesota is really playing well right now after that ugly start where they gave up 20 goals in their first 3 games. So give me the Wild. The Edmonton Oilers, this number's gone the other way, was minus 145 when I placed it last night. It's now minus 152. They are at home to the New Jersey Devils, and I know the Devils have been on a real run here after a tough start, and they outclassed the Vancouver Canucks last night. But the bottom line is they're moving up a few weight classes going from Vancouver to Edmonton tonight. Anyone that saw that offensive explosion in the Oilers' last game knows that the New Jersey Devils and Lindy Ruff squad better be ready. But the way Edmonton's rolling right now, I think they win. I like them on the money line. And then the shortest number is the New York Rangers and the Boston Bruins. Now, again, last night, this was minus 119. It's now at minus 130. Boston, had that big comeback against Pittsburgh a couple nights ago, and they've been one of the best teams in the league. I just think at some point they're going to lose. Shesterkin's coming off a shutout. He's been awesome. And Jeremy Swayman's out now, potentially long term. I haven't heard what the full diagnosis is, but they're afraid that is a very serious injury. So we don't expect him. So, backup goalie, Shesterkin, MSG, Bruins are due for a loss. I'm throwing the Rangers on the ticket as well. So last night I put those together. Rangers were minus 119. Edmonton was 145 and Wild was minus 182. It was paying plus 382. Now gone down a little bit with the line movement in the Rangers and the Oilers, but it's still plus 364. So we're going to get on that tonight and hopefully go back-to-back with a couple nice parlays, and who knows what's going to happen with this football game tonight. I will not be throwing fat stacks on the Texans, but I am looking forward to watching it, or at least following it while I'm at the rink, hopefully seeing the Jets whoop the Canadians.
Oilers over 3.5 goals, minus 110. I think I like that tonight, going up against the New Jersey Devil. I think the Oilers are going to score at least 4 goals tonight, if not a whole bunch more. But let's go over 3.5 against the Devils team that can probably score some goals tonight as well. That total's sitting at 7 right now. Gotta love when you see a 7 roll out there for action in the National Hockey League. Hey, one more time before we let you go, we got $1,000 cash that we're going to be giving away here with the Lock Shop. All you got to do, go on Twitter to @LockShopBets. You'll see the tweet. It's going to be pinned right at the top. You retweet that tweet and you subscribe to our YouTube channel. First 1,000 subscribers who also retweeted that tweet will go into a draw for $1,000 cash. Not in Lock Shop, Cool Bet credit, not in gift certificates or anything like that. Just straight up $1,000
You're holding it right
before
now.
Christmas. So yeah, this is it. This is, I mean, if you want me to e-transfer it to you, I'll e-transfer it to you. If you end up being somebody from Edmonton, I'll meet you and I'll deliver you $1,000 cash. So there's different ways we can get it to you, but it's real money.
The lock shop presentation ceremony. I hope it is someone that maybe that's close to either one of us.
Yeah, either one of us. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good.
Again, with picks like this lately, the lock shop is going worldwide. And of course, that is why we're on YouTube right now. So more people can find out where we're at. Not to mention a good, consistent place where all the content will be easy for you to find. You know, if it's Sunday and you want to check out the best bets, you can quickly go back to the Friday show. It'll all be there in one spot. And we're working on again on the notifications, but we'll make sure you guys get those turned on so you know when we're live. You can pop in and join us or check it out a little bit afterwards. But the link for the YouTube channel is right there in that tweet at Lock Shop Bets. That's the most important thing. Click it, click subscribe. And if you can't, tell a friend. Obviously, any help we can get in growing the channel, we greatly appreciate it. And somebody, one of you lock shoppers, is going to be $1,000 richer once we get to the finish line of our
to give you $1,000. All right. Subscribe to the YouTube channel where we will have our best bets coming your way. Week 9 best bets Friday, followed by prop and parlay Saturday. On Saturday, getting you set for another Sunday full of action in the National Football League. Hustle, talk to you tomorrow morning, bud.
Take it easy, dude.